قال الله ولا يهوى باشا من الشعب باشا من Kakadash. The will honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. I will unto you all peace and salutations to the brothers and the four corners of the spirit, pushing this within truth and in sincerity. I'm Brother Monatizak. Yeah, but that's a quick article, you know, um, just to show you how the rulers are the rulers really think, right? Because USA to fight drug trafficking, but they just may exempt us from, well, exempt them from sanctions concerning our oil deal concerning us, which in turn concerns them. Well, let's we get on the article. I just skim through it, but we'll get on into it, right? Shell nears US license to export Venezuelan gas to Trinidad, right? Um, right. Shell PLC is preparing to resume preliminary work on a Venezuelan offshore gas field to supply neighboring Trinidad and Tobago as its confidence grows. The Trump administration will issue a new license exempting the Slovakia project from sanctions, according to people familiar with the matter. A project to develop the Dragon gas field located in shallow waters between the two countries would replenish feedstock for Trinidad's gas-starved liquefaction complex and petrochemical plants. Trinidad is a significant exporter of LNG, ammonia, and other gas-based products. Right. The imminent license for Shell lays bare the administration's split-screen approach toward Venezuela on one off Venezuela's coast and US military jets bombing alleged drug running boats. On the other, oil company executives and Trinidadian officials shuttling between Washington, Caracas, and Port of Spain to try to get gas plans back on track. The White House revoked oil and gas licenses in Venezuela in April to try to escalate pressure on Venezuela, which the Trump administration views as a haven for drug cartels. Dragon is one of several offshore gas projects that Venezuela and Trinidad were working to develop before the Trump administration reversed course. In July, the administration issued a restricted license to Chevron Corp to resume production and exports of Venezuela heavy oil and is expected to follow suit with Shell and other companies tied to gas projects that would benefit Trinidad, according to the people. The Treasury Department, which administers licenses through the Office of Foreign Assets Control, didn't reply to a request for comment. The final terms of Shell's license are still under discussion, according to people familiar with the status of the talks. Duration of up to 10 years compared with the original short-term license to facilitate long-term investment, according to the people. Shell's partner in the project is Trinidad's state-owned National Gas Company. In parallel to Shell talks, BP plc is seeking to restore its own license to develop the Venezuelan side of the Manakin Coquina field that straddles the maritime border between the two countries. Shell referred queries to Trinidad's government. BP didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Shell and BP are the main shareholders in the Atlantic liquefaction complex in Trinidad, where gas production has been declining for more than a decade. The gas shortage has dented Trinidad's exports of LNG and petrochemicals, including ammonia that's used by US farmers. See, tell you in turn it indirectly affects them, right? The Jargon field lies only a few miles from Shell's Hibiscus Trinidad major rush to add more natural gas to halt decline. Alright, cool. There. That's basically it. So you see, this thing probably is about drugs, right? Because the US agriculture want ammonia for wherever, for the farming, wherever the case may be, as an insecticide or pesticide, I suppose, or whatever, right? So we know this man, right? And the precept, yeah, I'm not nothing down. I just came across the article. I say, hey, I'm gonna do a little video of it. It's Micah 2 and 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and look evil upon their beds when the morning is light. They practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. You understand? And that is what they're doing. The lands by violence, and that's what they're known to do. You understand? As soon as you land on assets, like Iraq and Iran, you have oil. All of a sudden, it have insurgents and terrorists and fucking all of a sudden, no. After all this time, now you worry about the drug trafficking and fucking in Venezuela. Isn't that strange? Isn't that a bit of a coincidence? All of a sudden, no. The first time you was in office, you had no qualms with it. You didn't have time with fucking them. All of a sudden, it's like they have become an issue. Right? So, on one hand, you want to blow them out of the water for selling for drug trafficking. On the other hand, you want to lay in bed with them for oil. Wow. Right? Wow. Yes, and it is James too. Is it look at James? Let's be my that is it. James 1 and verse 8. A double minded man is unstable in all his ways. Right? And that is it, he unstable in all his ways. You know? But yet people they trust in him because he portray the life of the US or the dream, the image, right, as something good, as something desirable. You know, they portray the digital system as something that you should be a part of or you would want to be a part of, not knowing you're signing over your how to play it, right? You're signing allegiance to the physical, to the devil incarnate. I said, you're signing allegiance to the devil incarnate. You understand? And that is what it is. On one hand is bombs, on one hand is oil. And that is how that is the type of man they is. They do what they covered by violence, right? They're unstable in the ways because first they start off with transport, they were trafficking they think to through Trinidad, through wherever, and it ended up in America, so we have to go deal with them. All of a sudden, out of the blue. Then comes this article, sorry. Big boy companies want license for oil from them. You understand? And we know, hey, Oil is not no joking money. Oil money is big money. Nations are running on oil money. You understand? War is expensive. One needs money. Their country isn't that. That is why the elite's pushing so hard for that digital platform too. Right? But nevertheless, how you gonna be so big and bad and great if you have no money? And this is where they realize, oh, these people have oil. You understand, Louis? So, Louis go to Louis go down there and find an excuse to go down there and deal with them treacherously. Cause this is the person they are. They is. You understand? This is what they do. It's vintage ESO. Vintage ESO. Right? Um, this is all I remember. Right? Is the book of Ecclesiasticus. It's 12 and 707. Try 12 and 7. Mm, no, 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 no. No, it's not 14 and 7. Let's go research. Wow. 12 and 10. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron or rusted, so is his wickedness, meaning what it doesn't go away, because rust don't really go away. You got to slow down the rust process with like, there are the paints where the sand down the part and you paint it, however the case may be, but the iron will rust. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. Yeah, you understand? So if Venezuela, if Maduro and them really do say, alright, we go give all of the oil forever, whatever, and think they're going to lay off their backs, they probably have a next thing coming by. You know? So we go watch and see, because we know how treacherous this man is. Yeah, understand? We know how treacherous he is. So we just have to wait and see. And most likely that issue and all could spark the official sparker, you know what I mean? The turbo. You understand? We could see bombs flying for that, you know? But hey, regardless of what the bombs fall for, as long as they fall, to Waraya Basham, Yoshai Basham Kakodash. So I hope it was edifying to the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yoshai. Basham Kakodash. Until next time, Shalom.